Hi Twin Flames, and welcome to this week's energy forecast for your Twin Flame and you. So let's see what's going to happen for you two this following week. As always, let's start with the card for your Twin Flame to see what is going to come up for them this week, what they're going to be healing, what lessons they'll be learning. And we have Star Mother. I feel like a very big theme on your Twin Flame's healing journey this week will have to do with mother issues and their relationship with their mother figure in their life. A lot of it might involve healing inner child wounds, which is actually very powerful on the Twin Flame journey, because when you're able to identify those patterns that have been with you since childhood and actually heal them and free yourself from them, then you're a whole new person afterwards, and you gain so much wisdom, and you're no longer controlled by those childhood patterns, and you're able to steer yourself into a new direction. And as a result of that, also your Twin Flame journey can change its direction in a very beautiful way. I feel like your Twin Flame is also going to increase the amount of self-care and self-love that they've been investing in themselves this week, and that's going to bring about some very beautiful change, because our capacity to love others is always limited by our capacity to love ourselves. So if we're not filling up our own cup, then we have nothing left for others. And actually, it can lead to resentment when we give to others before we give to ourselves. So I feel like your Twin Flame is going to make that shift in their life where they're prioritizing their relationship with themselves, and they're able to fill up their own cup before they can extend that love to others, including you. So the exchange in your relationship is going to feel much more balanced instead of getting this, drained energy, or this can also manifest in your Twin Flame not being as communicative with you, not being as talkative, because they don't really have much energy left. They've given it all away. So there's going to be a very nice, beautiful shift. For some of you, I feel like there's a burden your Twin Flame has been carrying that they're going to be releasing and be free of that. Whether that's regret, shame, guilt, worry, they're going to be free of that. So you're going to feel a relief in your union as a result of that energy leaving. Next up, we have your card, and let's see what developments are going to happen in your life. And we have the initiation, crossing the threshold. So I get the feeling that maybe you've been doing some very, very, very deep healing work on yourself lately. Maybe it's been months, it's been weeks. Maybe this is a pattern that you've had for years and you're trying to break it. And right now this week, you're about to cross the threshold. You're about to enter a whole new chapter. When it comes to this pattern, you're going to release it fully or a huge chunk of it, depending on how you're pacing your healing journey. And take a look at the illustration of this card, because this is so important. And you can see that there's so much beauty and color over here. Once you've crossed the threshold, everything is amazing and it's beautiful. But to get there, we've got storms, we've got snakes, we've got like gray and blackness and darkness, and it's all crazy. And it looks scary until you cross the threshold, because I get the feeling that you're kind of shedding your old skin here, like you're letting go of a pattern that has been so deeply ingrained into who you are. Maybe it's something that you've been, identifying with for the longest time. Maybe you've identified with being, this person that doesn't cause drama, for example. You keep the peace. That's your identity. And now you're being called to let that go, because you need to put up some boundaries, and boundaries can sometimes lead to conflict, and that's okay. Boundaries are a form of self-love. That's what you need to remember here, if that's your case. And yeah, maybe that leads to conflict, but handling conflict in a productive way and is a crucial life skill. It's not something you can avoid. There's always going to be some sort of conflict until you've completely healed and ascended. So that's why it's important to accept that it is there. It doesn't show that you failed somehow. It doesn't mean you're bad if somebody gets angry at you for having boundaries. If anything, it's a good sign that your boundaries are working. So at first this might be scary though, going from being, the keeper of the peace to the person that has good boundaries. People might be like, what's going on here? And some people may not like that, especially the people who were profiting most from this. And they were able to take advantage of your kindness. So living in this new mode of life might be scary at first, but then as you let go of that old identity, you're going to feel much better, much happier. You're going to have more energy left for yourself to pursue things that you enjoy. Your own healing, hobbies, exploring your life purpose, doing something for yourself. Like, it's going to feel very good to do that. But you first need to cross the, scary part, get that over with. But you're going to be making some really beautiful progress this week. As long as you stick with it and you don't give up, then I can see this leading to a beautiful development for you. Last but not least, let's see what advice the divine has for you. What is it that you can do in order to speed up, expedite your harmonious twin flame union with your twin flame? So this week you're asked, where are you being called to journey to? It's interesting because the colors in this card match the colors over here. It feels like it's a continuation, like you cross the threshold and, you reach this beautiful destination. It looks like a palace, that building. It's beautiful. It feels very peaceful. There's water, there's flow. And I feel like this is very significant for you, especially if you are feeling very overwhelmed by this change. Maybe there's a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of pain coming to the surface to be healed. And I feel like your advice for this week is to remember where you're going and not to focus too much on where you are right now. So of course you don't want to ignore what's going on currently in your reality. You want to acknowledge it and heal what needs to be healed and make the right moves to get out of a situation that doesn't align with who you desire to be. But at the same time, don't forget who you desire to be, because your current situation is not your final destiny. It's a stepping stone. It's lessons that you need to learn in order to become this person in the future. And you're currently in the process of, shedding the old skin and becoming this new person that you've always dreamed of being. And that's a process. And that process is not pretty most of the time. Maybe it is for some people, but it certainly wasn't for me and for so many other twin flames that I've spoken to and helped throughout the years. It's not been a pretty process, but it's a huge relief when that burden is lifted and when you can let go of the pain, let go of the suffering, and actually head to your destination and receive all those blessings that were meant for you, that were essentially on the other side of releasing that darkness. So yeah, there's work that needs to be done, and that inner work can sometimes feel very heavy. It can feel very painful, but it's only in those moments. And once you've let go of that pain, once you've processed those feelings, once you've healed that wound, then you never have to bother with it again. It's never gonna come up again. And there's only beauty and peace and love on the other side of that. So this is what your advice is this week, to remember where you're going and that your every trial, your every challenge, it has a purpose. And that purpose is not to increase your suffering or to traumatize you, but to empower you and to help you grow into the best version of yourself that is going to manifest your union, essentially. And don't forget that diamonds are created under a lot of pressure. You don't have pressure, you don't have diamonds. So that's also something to remember. And if your journey to union feels overwhelming sometimes, if you're not clear on what next steps you can take, if you're not sure how to navigate all this process, then feel free to reach out to me, because I'd love to help you get the clarity and the confidence you need in order to move forward and get good results on this journey. If that sounds good to you, then check out the description of this video where I've put all my links. And with that, I'm going to conclude this week's reading. Thank you so much for watching, my dear twin flames, and I hope to see you in the next one.